Check 1 2 1 2. Checking 1 2. How are we trading today? Right. All right, we're live once again. I'm trying to see how this is working. Why do we look slanted? Why do we look slanted? All right. All right, my fellow simpletons and degenerates, good morning. Kent's mom is here, and good to see her. As always, Kent's mom, you are a true savage watcher. I see what's going on here. That's what's going on. So maybe, sorry, I'm just trying to get situated here and see how we can fix. All right. Guys are going to have to deal with this for now. A little bit of a technical difficulties. Let's see here. I don't know if it's my bear. Is my bear slanted? Nah, the bear's cool, man. Let's see here. What's up, my folks? I hope everyone's doing great. Oh, you know what? I may be on something, a little tripod here. Maybe on something. We'll figure it out. Anyways, welcome, my fellow simpletons and degenerates. Here we are live once again. Let us go and check out my little live. And let's warn the people from the Discord that we are on here so they can have a look-see, because for some reason, some people sometimes can come in, sometimes can't. And they ask me for a link, so I'll just send the link and see if it works. So here we are trading once again. Looks like Rivian is getting hit a little bit. You guys know I like my Rivian. So, anybody looking at Rivian can look for some October cash secure puts. You maybe go to the 12 strike if you really want it. You can go to the $13 strike and get $120 for it. Not bad. $120 to buy Rivian at $13. It literally is at $13.38 right now. So nothing wrong with that. I love my Rivian. It's falling 3% on analyst downgrades. That's what they're calling it. And weak retail sentiment that drive the shares lower, bucking the broader tech rally. I think Googie downgraded Rivian to neutral from a buy last week. So Guggenheim, the analysts need to get paid, right? And they have to have something to write about. They can't write about Sofi, not meeting expectations right now. So what are they doing? They got to find a new target. But you know what? It's all right. We do what we do, and we're going to keep stacking chips. Oh, you know what? This is it right here. Right. Then move this like this. Much better. I think that's better. For some reason, it looks slanted a bit, I got to play with the camera later, but for the most part, you guys can see me, I think, so that's a good thing. Welcome. This is how we feel about the market today. It's one of those where, needless to say, right? There's a lot of red out there, and I think SoFi is kind of the ray of hope for the overall market. You guys forgive me over here. I'm still trying to get situated. Just so you guys know, my kids come in here all the time, and they play around with my equipment. They have no idea what's going on. So, and I let them, and they get away with a lot. But sometimes it's a pain in the butt, and it's really hard to adjust, especially because I don't really have time to set my tech up as much as I should. Since my time is limited, right? So here we are going live in one of my rooms at my crib, right? And it's gonna be a hot day today. I'll tell you that now. It's one of the things about living in California is that sometimes, you get 90-degree days all the time, and sometimes you're ready for it and you're like, yeah, and sometimes you're like, ugh. But whatever. Good morning, my fellow degenerates. How are we doing today? How are we trading? Ken's mom is here. Jeff Glass is here. Jeff Glass and Jeff S are here. They're saying, what's up? Good morning. Beach Boy is in the house. Beach Boy, that's my boy, brother from another mother up in the Middle East. Daddy O 5 is here. Finally made a live one. There it is. We're here, brother. Jeff Glass says he sold two of my $10 Sofi long calls for 50% profit this morning. There's two remaining. I like it. I say you turn those into cash secure puts and start doing the thing, man. That's how you generate money on money on money. I don't see why not. Just so you guys know, I just talked about Rivian. Rivian is taking a little bit of a hit today. Not crazy, but it's 3%, maybe 4%. I'm watching the news, right, on the Bloomberg here and on the Schwab network, and it seems like Novo Nordisk is down a lot today, which is pretty shocking since they make Ozempic, and Ozempic is like the rage right now, right? But I think other companies are coming out with their own version, and so Novo Nordisk lowers outlook on low Wegovy sales, or Wegovy. I guess that's another of their pharmaceuticals. It's crazy how they pin all their hopes and dreams on like the one medication. It's pretty sad actually, but it is what it is, right? So anyhow, let's see here. All right, what are we doing here today? How are we trading? Mr. Lucky Go Round is here. What's up, Mr. Lucky? Good seeing you again. B Tram saying good morning. Daddy O, UB had a crooked lamp. You have a crooked pick. I guess we'll go with that. Is it crooked though? How about now? You know what? It's crooked here, but it's not crooked on the. That's hilarious. I love it. This is great. So it's awesome. We'll leave it crooked. I like it. Lisa's here. How you doing, Lisa? Good seeing you again. Lisa may be trying to do a reverse split. I read that, they've been talks about doing a reverse split. I don't like it. They don't need to because they were at 350 not too long ago, right? So why would you dilute your shares? I guess you're not really diluting. If you do a reverse split, you're actually, there's less shares in existence, right? But like, why? They don't need to. So it's just, I'm going to have to make a decision with Lucid. I mean, I like the car, right? The cars are made for not everybody. These are like the higher end electric vehicles, right? And I just, they keep getting in their way. I think if they would just pipe down and then just shut up and just work, it would just be so much easier. And I think the shares easily would go at $15, $20 a share, but I think they're so desperate to like do things now that I guess the pressure is getting to them, and they just keep making dumb knuckleheaded mistakes. But I mean, I'm gonna have to make a decision, and I may just go in and buy like 5,000 shares to average down, and on that first pop, I may just get out because it's at some point you have to make a decision, and although I do invest in companies that I like and I'm willing to hold for 5 years. Don't be afraid or too hard-headed to say to yourself, be honest with yourself, right? And say, I think I made a mistake, and I think, or I'm done with this one. I mean, I'm holding Tesla, Rivian, right? I'm holding Neo. This would be another EV, so it's like at some point you could just be like, I need to take that capital elsewhere, because it's really not doing much for me at this point, right? It's just there. Like it's not really moving much, and I could be getting a lot more of a percentage if I went elsewhere with that money. I'm gonna have to really take a hard look at it, play with the numbers, and see if it makes sense for me to just get out of the position. And even if it's for a little loss, I mean, I'm okay with that. Um, because I mean, it's time, right? So let's see here. Walter Young is saying good morning, Savage. Good morning, Walter. How you doing? Charlie is saying good morning, everyone. Kent's mom is saying that she sold two $10 sound caps. Is that cash secure puts or credit spreads to January 26th? Okay, I'm gonna go with cash secure puts. Right, it's two $10 cash secure puts. You probably brought in like $2 per share, which is great. That's 20%. That's pretty good. Yes, you wrote at the bottom. You wrote cash secure puts. That's good. I like that. Wing Commander saying, is the Bears out again? It is in fact out again, my friend. And it makes sense. Look at the overall market today, right? And it seems like I mean, if Novo Nordisk, who's making Ozempic, it's now lowering guidance and expectations. It's taking a big hit, although they keep making like billions and billions of dollars. If they are telling you, even though they're making money, that they're lowering expectations and guidance, you have to really look at the overall market and you see all the numbers that are coming out. I mean, just because SoFi killed all metrics, I mean, there's another 25, 30 companies, 50 companies that are having earnings that are not having great numbers at all, and they're lowering expectations. Uh, they are lowering guidance, and they're trimming. So you can't grow by getting smaller. You just can't. That's just not the way it works. So at this point, I'm like I said, I'm going shopping today. I'm looking at um, some companies that are down 5% or more, and doing my cash secure put thing. And I'm just not going crazy at all. I think that there's still room to the downside, right? And and let's look at what's available. I did another cash secure put on Webull today. I think I got 360 for a $15 cash secure put out to October, right? And I mean that's well over 20% for a couple of months. We're pretty much in August, right? This Friday will be August the 1st. So that's like, 2 months and some weeks for 20% and change, like 22, 23%. I mean, what's wrong with that? Worst case scenario, I get those shares like around, 11.40, and the 52-week low is like around 10, $11. So I'm near the 52-week low. I'm okay with that decision. So we have it's a lot of stuff going on. SoFi is down to the 23 land. I hope you guys sold some covered calls on SoFi. It seems like $25 is the ceiling at this point, and that's kind of resistance. I did see some people wrote some covered calls, and I think that's cool. But I think more of you guys should be taking that approach, because earnings are now out. And remember, yesterday, I think during a portion of the show, I said that I think a lot of this was baked in, and I think I was right. I don't see SoFi going to 30 this week. It may touch 30 maybe in January or a little earlier for like the Santa rally, but I mean, I just don't see it going through 26 in the next week or two. Absolutely, I can be wrong, right? But just giving the overall feel of the market, seeing how it couldn't hold 25 for more than a few minutes today, and how the ceiling is 25, because last week, it tried to go through 24 and change, and it just couldn't reach 25. So 25 is that resistance. It just keeps bumping against that and coming back down, bumping against it, coming back down. So if close to 25, you wrote some covered calls, I think hats off to you, because you caught it at the top. you know. AI is having a little bit of a, of a red day today. It's down 3.5%. Unity is down some. Recursion Pharmaceuticals is down 5% today. Beautiful day for cash and cure puts. Let's see, RXRX. You sell some December puts. I don't know. You could do the $6 cash and cure put. Bring in 155, 160. Nothing wrong with that. Almost 25%. You could do $5 cash and cure puts if you want to if you think there's a little more risk of it going down and you wouldn't mind owning it at $5. You could do $5 cash and cure put and you could ask for 90 cents. So you're getting pretty much almost 20% if you went to December. If you went to January, you could do the $5 cash and cure puts. You could ask for $1. You could ask for $1.05. Well over 20% for your troubles, and you will be owning it under $4, $3.95, something like that. It's a great. That's a great right. Rivian is down. SOXS is up, which is great. That means that my Direction Daily Semiconductor Leverage Bear 3x shares is actually taking a little pop, which means that Nvidia is probably down, which is cool. I've added in the 6 and 7 land, so I'm looking for a nice little dip on Nvidia, maybe touching the 140s again. And if it does, this would be like it's leveraged 3 times, so whatever amount Nvidia goes down, say 10%, this will go up 30%. 15% for Nvidia, 45% here. So I'll just get out, take my money, and wait for Nvidia to go up again and for this to go down because it's inverted, right? And so I'll make money that way. Looks like Archer Aviation is down 5%. Really good day for cash and cure puts. Get your butt up to October. Do some $10 cash and cure puts, bring in 130. I mean, that's pretty great. Well over 130 that's 13%, man. 13% for October, right? Not bad at all if you'd be looking at Archer Aviation. Roblox is taking it on the chin. Roblox, my average is in like the 20s. So like it's really expensive at this point for me. I would not even touch it. But if it came down to like $70, I definitely would look at it again. Sentinel-1 is down a bit, but not terribly. It's not even 1%. I wait. Riot is down almost 5%. So if you're somebody that thinks Bitcoin is going to be the next big thing, right? I mean, it already is. But if it's going to go to like $250,000 per Bitcoin, maybe $500 million. Some people are saying $1 million. Riot would be. Riot Platforms would be a great stock to buy. RIOT is the ticker. It's 1382 at this point. You could do some October rights, sell some cash and cure puts, $13. Try to ask for 140, 148, 147. Bring in $147 to buy at $13. It would still need to come down another 81 cents, right? But you could do 150. You could ask for 150 for the $13 one, or you could even say, you know what, Savage, I want to do the $12 strike. And you could bring in $101, $102 for that. I mean, so many ways to go about this, right, and play it. It looks like Open is down today. And did we touch we went under $1. But, it seems like there's some support in the $2 land, $1.90 to $2, because it seems like it's kind of bouncing off of that a lot. It's just there's some cool stuff here, man. There's definitely a lot of bargains today. BBAI is down almost 6% today. Nvidia is down, not even 1%. It needs to come down some more. Coinbase is down almost 2%, 3%. Let's see here. Newsmax is down almost 5%. If you're one of those people that likes the premiums and wants to play with Newsmax, it's one of those that is a little bit of a volatile stock. You could go to October, sell a cash secure put. It's 13.38 right now. You could do the 12.50, so it needs to come down another dollar and change, right? For you to buy the 12.50s, and you could ask for $2. You put up 12.50, ask for $2. You're essentially buying it at 10.50. The 52-week low is $10, so you're basically at the 52-week low. It's one of those that can pop $4 or $5 like that. Then when it pops $4 or $5, you could do $20 cash or covered calls, bring in another $3-4, and you lower your cost basis and start playing the game, taking out at 20 base case scenario, right? Or worst case scenario, best case, it stays in the 18-17 land, and you sell another 20 a couple of months later. That's how we do. All right, let's see what we got going here. Wing Commanders here. Charlie C2 is here saying, hey, everyone. Ricardo Canales is here. Ricardo, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. James of the Misty Tree is saying, Lucky 12 banked $2K on SoFi so far today, and also brought in $1,300 in the premium. More stinkers set and folding arms. That's how you do it, brother. That's how you do it. You make money and you make more money. Jeff Glass is saying, seems the broader market is going to drag SoFi down after stellar earnings once again. See, again, I don't think so, man. I keep telling you guys that SoFi does this during earnings. Everyone knows SoFi is going to do well, right? I mean, at this point, there's the 8th, 9th quarter report that it just kills all metrics. So it rises previous to quarter earnings, right? And then it goes on a run. The stock is pumped, and you kind of bake it in. You kind of bake the earnings in. And so, shorter is going to short. However, there's also people that like taking profits. And remember, people like me are in this market that you go in, you look for opportunity in the $20 land, right? When SoFi went for like a day to like 1980 or something, I did my cash secure puts, $20 ones for January 2026. Once those puts get sold or bought back up in 2026, all that volatility, all that volume, goes down. All those open contracts, they close, right? So then that alleviates pressure, and then that gets rid of the volatility, which means premiums are less. It's just that also brings the stock price down, right? I mean, look at how heavy it's trading, but I mean, there's more sellers than buyers today. Yeah, we have over 100 million traded so far, but people went to 25, they took profit. You're taking profit. Some of you guys, you see how, people do 0 day to expiries, right? And people take 3%, 5%, 10% in one day, and it moves so quickly, and that's what happens. People take profits and make money. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But again, this is why I'm not a fan of short-term trading. I'm an investor. Yes, I trade daily sometimes, but sometimes I go days without writing a contract or buying one back, for that matter, and that's okay. But traders, are always trading, like especially the 0 day to expiry date folks. Those folks are always trading, and I just, that's not me. Sometimes I won't look at a portfolio because I decide to take a mental break type of day, right? And that's why I do covered calls and cash secure puts out, 2-3 months, and bring in big chunks of money because I just let that time premium, get eaten away. And if I decide to roll, then I roll, but I don't worry about it now. Like some people were talking about SoFi running, and what do I do with my $25 covered calls in 2026, right? Nothing. You have till January, right? It's about to be August, so you still have 4 or 5 months. Um, you have all that premium still, all that time. Let it happen, right? If in, let's say, November, December, you know, SoFi is like at $25, $26 a share, then you can reassess and you can look at, okay, so I sold some $25 covered calls. You're literally going to be $1 and change in the money, right? But that time premium has now decayed. So those extra $2, $3 in time premium, or $1 or $2 in time premium are done. So instead of you now buying back those covered calls for $3 or $4, you can buy them back then for like $1.50. So you see what I mean? So you basically cost yourself money by closing too early and not letting time happen. So much can happen between now and January too. We can go into a full recession. Let's look at what the Fed does. You still have the Fed meeting tomorrow. There's so much going on this week. Um, let things play out. Don't be impatient. However, if you do want to, take advantage of the opportunity and bring in more premium, right? And you're like, I see opportunity elsewhere, or you have to pay bills, whatever, and you want to raise some cash, then you can. This morning could have been like, you know what? I want to roll my $25 SoFi's, from January to January 2027 30s, right? And I want to bring in another dollar of premium. So if you did, 5 contracts, that's $500. Um, but it's not a $500 move, right? If it's, I mean, hold on. If you did 100 shares, right? One contract, that's $100 move. But it's not a $100 move. It is actually a $600 move because you're going from 25 to 30, right? On the strike price. So that's the way you got to look at it. So you realistically are making $600. You're just getting paid 100 right now, and then a premium later on. But you're leaving a lot of time on the table. So in the future, let's say January 2026, you could roll to 2027 and bring in more premium because the stock will be higher, right? And that time will be more valuable because the stock is higher. Anyways, let's see here. Let's see. Beach Boy, my eldest bought SoFi 22. Oh, my eldest bought SoFi 22.6 and then wrote January 30s cover cost at 213. If he'll be exercised, that means he makes 42% on his money. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Yeah, no, you bought at 22.60. You make $7.40 on the strike price, and then you make $2.13 on premium. I mean, almost $10. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful ride. I think the kids definitely chippled the old block there, Beach Boy. I like it. I'm proud of him too, Beach Boy. DH Ruda, thanks for advertising the show earlier, Savage. I don't know if I advertised more like I was telling the folks over here, like just saying, hey, I'm gonna go live. Um, well, I guess that is advertising in a way, huh? All right. All right. Good morning. Says F Gun. Is that F Gun? F Gun 20. I just subscribed to the channel. I hope you do well. Thank you, F Gun. I appreciate it. Poto is here. I agree, Poto. Cash your puts on Riot are definitely looking juicy. Was it downgraded a bit? I thought I could have sworn I read there was like a little downgrade of some sort. Um, Let me look here. I just love my phone, guys. Can I just tell you? I love trading on the PC, but I'm always on the go, and I'm always like up and down with my kids, uh, especially when I'm traveling. Oh yeah, so Riot's at 1366. Yeah, some juicy premiums here, buddy. $13. The $13 ones will bring you $153 right now. If you go to October, you go to January. Oh man, you could write 225 right now. $13 will bring you in a little chunk of cash. I don't see what's wrong with that. I really like Webull, man. I did a few already. I'm not trying to overextend myself on it, but I brought in a nice chunk of change of premium on Webull today, for sure. Let's see. BBAI is down 7% today. I see nothing wrong with going to January and selling some $7 at 664. I mean, you can sell some sixes. Sell some $6 cash secure puts and ask for 150. You're getting well over 20% for your troubles. You go to, let's see, September will give you 73 cents. Stinker could be 75, but 73 is kind of in the middle between the ask bid. You bring well over 10%, maybe like around 12%, and you're at September 19th, $6 strikes for BBAI are 73 cents right now. Stinker of 75. I mean, that's not terrible at all. If you're looking to get into like the BBAI bus, that's a good one to ride on, man. Let me see what else we got going here. Palantir is 155, taking on the chin. Not really. It's down like 1.5%. The SQQQs are up. I like it. Ooh, nice. My little calls, my SQQQ calls are up a bit. That's good. I'm still down, but all right. I can't wait to get rid of those. I still think that, there's so much room for SQQQ. Let me buy 2 of these. You know what? Let me average it down. Let me be stupid and buy some calls. All right. Let's see. Marvell is down. I like Marvell. MRVL. New AI partnership with Rebellions. Investors bet on customs infrastructure for APAC and the Middle East markets. Got your money right there, baby. Let's see here. Mara is down. Folks, if you guys were looking to get into Marathon Digital, it is an asset tech company which engages in mining of cryptocurrencies with a focus on the Bitcoin ecosystem. So if you don't mind owning that and you believe in Bitcoin, right now it's $16.66 a share. You could sell a $16 cash secure put and bring in $270. That's not terrible at all, guys. I'll tell you right now. Royal Caribbean, quarter three adjusted forecast misses. They're like $30 billion in the hole. I don't understand. Like, why is it even? I don't know why it hasn't been delisted. And they got some old ass ships too. That's terrible. Anyways, what else do we got going here? Yes, Cash Plus on Riot, extremely juicy premium. I wouldn't be surprised to read that you wrote some Junes on Riot. For sure. Let's see here. You know what? Rocket companies. I like rocket companies, guys. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's into that, but once interest rates get cut, I think rocket companies is going to fly. Probably doubling. It's just they have so many services related to home ownership and such, right? That I think it's a powder keg at this point. I like it. I'm holding it, and interest of full disclosure, right? Snowflake. I said yesterday I like Snowflake, but Snowflake is down like nothing today. Man, if Snowflake could go like the 170, $150 area between there, that if it trade 150 to 170, I'd love to go into that channel and do some 150 cash secure puts, man. QBTS is down today. I mean, everything is down today, right? Today, QBTS could give you $480 if you were to do 17. Let's see here, the $18 cash secure puts. $18 cash secure puts for January could bring you in 475, 480 bucks right now on QBTS. Just saying, there's opportunity out there, my friends. It's just all up to you whether you want to take it or not. NEO is down. ASTS is surprisingly down again, but not surprisingly. If you're looking to get into the ASTS bus, you could get $11 for a $50 cash secure put expiring January. Stock is at 51.58 right now. So I'm saying, man, that's 20% back on your investment. And where you get ASTS for 40 bucks? Actually, like 39 and change. That's beautiful. JD saying, I'm peeping a January 2027 RCAT $10 cash secure put. That's offering $4.90 to $5 in premium. What do you think about RCAT and the potential trade? I like it. I hold their RCAT. I actually have some. I think I have some. I actually have that one. I actually do have that $10 cash secure put, and I have some $8 cash secure puts. But let me tell you exactly what I'm holding, because I don't want to lead you amiss, my friend. I have a red cat $8 cash. There is some cash secure puts. I have a few of them. I got 205 in credit for those. They're at 218, so I'm underwater a little bit. I'm okay with that though, because I'm getting red cat for like $5.95. Worst case scenario, they expire in January 2026. It's a safe bet, man. And I also have some tens. I got let me see. I got some tens which I received $2.25 for, and my break even is $7.75. $10 cash secure puts expiring October 17th. So I'm daring the market to come and get me, and that's what I do. I go a shorter strike, couple of months, and then if that ends up panning out, I already have another longer strike, lower. I mean, a strike farther out and then lower. So if for whatever reasons it keeps going down, I can average down, right, and then have more shares. That's the way you play the game, and that's the worst case scenario, right? Best case scenario is I get assigned on the tens, and I keep the premium for the eights, and beautiful. I triple, quadruple my money, and then I'll do more cash secure puts later on. No big deal. So I like that trade. The red cat $10 cash secure put that's giving you $4.90 to $5 in premium for 2027. That's awesome. That's a fucking 50% on your investment. That's insane. I love those trades. The 50% trades are like my bread and butter, because those move so fast sometimes, especially with lower cap stocks like red cap, right? This on some days it may jump $2, $3, $4, right? And then those, like, they shrink so fast, and then because the spread is so large, sometimes you could go and stink bid it like 25 cents under whatever the lowest bid is, right? And then it'll hit because it moves. It's such a long spread. It's such a wide spread, and somebody will get greedy or try to get out, and then just boom, it triggers, and that's great. You take advantage of the opportunity. Let's see here. Killa Dre saying, "What's up? Yeah, what's up? How you doing? Good morning, Killa. Is it Killa or Kilua? I'm wondering. Are you Hawaiian? Trip hazard, a red day for NASDAQ. It can't be done. It may be done, buddy. Navy Vet Dex saying good morning. Good morning, Navy. How you doing? Kilua saying, it's asking me, you still doing something on Enphase? I have a bunch of puts that are getting slammed, unfortunately, but I will look to roll out when it gets closer to expiry. I am holding actually some 45s. I'm holding some 45s. So let's see what we got here. And I rolled them out. I rolled out some 45s, I think when it went to like 37, 36. And I think I got like $5 or $6 or $7 for those. So like, my cost basis would have been like 38, $39. And then I got more premium. So at this point, I think my cost basis will be in the 33 range. So, until if it stays in the $33 to $35 land, I'm okay. I'm okay getting those shares at that point. And I think I'm up to like January at this point. So in December, January, I'll see where it's at, and if it's like in the 28 area, then I'll go enroll the 26 Januaries to June and try to bring more premium in. So you sort of lower your cost basis, right? But I mean, I'll also look at the RSI. Is it being oversold? Is it at an inflection point? Look at the daily moving averages. How is it trading? Is it at that point getting shorted heavily? I could just put those shares and then just hold the stock and then wait for it to like pop 10, 12%, 15% on one day, right? And then write some 40s, 45s. There's more than one way to skin that cat, my friend. But yes, I am trading Enphase, and I am not doing anything with those yet. There's so much time, right? There's just so much time between now and their expiration date that I'm just going to let time do what time does, which is decay, right? And then closer to expiry date, the stock will tell me what to do, right? And that's how I trade that. So let's see here. Now we have Jeff saying Rocket Lab is down about 11% in the last week. Rocket Lab has gone up like 500% or 600% in the last year. So 11% in the past week, it's nothing. It's just people taking profit. They keep inking contracts, right, left and right. They keep making money. They have, they can't put rockets fast enough, right? They just can't launch them fast enough. They have a backlog of orders. They're making so much money. I have no problem with Rocket Lab in here. If anything, this will be a great opportunity. For people that have been looking at Rocket Lab. It's down almost 5% today. It's downtrending, so to speak. But if you were looking at Rocket Lab and you think it's a great company, you don't want to buy it at 42 though. You want to do some $40 cash or cure puts to January, get paid $750. It's $758, $750 bid, $765 ask. I say stink it at $775 if you want, or you could just go market price and go at $760, get paid $760 to buy Rocket Lab at $40 on January 16th, January 2026, right? So, that's a beautiful ride, actually. You're getting back almost 20% right off the bat, and then you're still $3 away. So you're $3 away from being in the money. It needs to come down an additional $3. You're putting away, $4,000, and they're giving you $750. That's what? That's beautiful, man. You could just go to 2027, and you could do a $50 cash secure put on Rocket Lab. I would not mind that at all. It's $19 right now. Put away $5,000 and get $1,900 back right now. Right now. And I mean, you do 10 of those, that's $19,000. You put away $50,000 on escrow, so to speak, right? Get back $19,000. Worst case scenario, you are buying January 2027 Rocket Lab at $31. I see nothing wrong with that at all. It's $43 right now. It will have to come down literally $3 by January 2027. But because of the premium you're getting, for it to like really be like terrible, it would have to come down another, I don't know, $12, $13 by January, right? So that's just crazy. And if you take your premium into account, you're getting $19. That's just, I mean, it's such a stupid, right? It's just free money. It's free money, man. Um, right as earnings this Thursday, says premium with the option. I do know that, and I'm trying to see what it's gonna do. Trying to see what it's gonna do. I think Riot's gonna make money, man. Um, Riot's gonna make money, man, because it's just been killing it all year. It's just been killing it, and it just keeps trading between this $9 to $13 channel, and which is weird. But let me see. What was the 52-week high for Riot? I think it was like $18, but I want to make sure. The 52-week high for Riot. Oh, it was $16, 15.87. So okay, but it just keeps trading on this channel. It's if you're somebody that likes volatility and making premiums, and you also are somebody that believes in Bitcoin, Riot is a wonderful stock to ride on because it's so volatile, and it goes to like 13, $14, comes back down to 10, goes back up to 13, 14, comes back down to 9, goes back at $15, and it goes back to 12, 11, and it just keeps trading in this channel, right? That you could do cash secure puts on extremely red days like today, and then it'll in a week it's going to be like $13 again, $14, and then you could buy the cash secure puts back, and wait for it to come back down, and then do more cash secure puts. Eventually, you're going to put those shares, and then you could write covered calls on days when it goes up 15, 20% in a day, and then just it's a cash cow. It really is. All right, let's see here. Rocket Lab is down, and I like it. I think it's I don't worry about it. The $50 cash secure put for 2027 would be insane. 0 days to expire are amazing. Got to be careful though. Have strict rules. Yeah, Mr. Lucky. You know what? If that's your cup of tea, dude, I think that's great. I don't mess with those just because I don't like babysitting. Right? I already have 3 kids, so I don't want to babysit stock. I just take big chunks and don't worry about it until for days and months at a time. So sometimes NVO's down 20%. Yeah, no, I saw that. It's just you know what, Javier, I'm not surprised. And just this is just tip of the iceberg, man. I think the more that earnings begin to settle and people begin to digest just how most companies are lowering guidance, right? It's gonna get ugly, man. And I mean, look, supposedly we're doing these great agreements with Japan and Europe, right? And now we're gonna have some agreements with China, whatnot. But the market is telling you how it feels, right? So that and the fact that not just the market, but the companies are telling you what's going on, how they feel. Although SoFi is, kind of one of those that it's kind of the exception. Um, Everything else is telling you, man, that we're just not gonna go as high as people think we are going. You look at the greed index, right? And the greed index is like a very greedy at this point. So I personally think we're frothy, and I think we're gonna come down. But you know, again, it's so weird because this market just wants to look for excuses to go up. So I mean, it's a writer's dream, right? I mean, it's an option writer's dream, and I'm having fun, um, regardless of how I may feel, and say, I feel bearish about the market, right? And I think we're frothy. I think we're going to go down. We may not, because people keep buying stock, and so I think that there's like $4 trillion on the sideline at this point. The people that really are moving the market is retail. Um, and I think retail is just is refusing. I mean, they just people are really into the market ever since 2020. I think GME woke people up. Like millions and millions of investors up, and now you have markets all over the world opening up. Right? We have this market in India that's going to open up. Latin America, man, Latin America. There's a lot of money in Latin America, and they haven't really began to invest yet. Eastern Asia, they haven't begun to really invest. Africa still has not begun to invest. So it's just like there's so much opportunity. Right now, we're like in the infancy of like option writing, right? As we know it, because we are very few. Option writers are like, they make like 1% of like the overall traders, right? When it comes to retail, at least. And it's just going to get smaller because the numbers are going to get bigger, and people buy options. They love buying options because they want that lottery ticket, right? The numbers don't lie. 90% of options die worthless, and so I mean, it's a writer's dream, this market, and I'm loving it. However, I don't 0 day till expiries. I just don't do that. That's not my thing. Cindy B saying, "Hi, Savage." Hello, Cindy. How are you? White Feather's here. What up, White Feather? Yeah, buddy. Hector, where will I find chart support for Rocket Lab? Look at the metrics, man. Look at the metrics. Willie Idaho saying, "Congrats, SoFi holders." I agree. Congratulations, SoFi holders. I hope you guys are writing cover calls. That's the way I feel, my friends. Let's see here. My wife is texting me, so that's cool. All right, let's see here. What else we got going here? It's just nickname my mates call me, pronounced Kill Ua or Kill You, eh? Oh shit. Kill Ua. I'll say Kill Ua. Kill Ua. It's just his nickname. It's all good. Rocket Lab still is profitable. It isn't profitable. Well, I mean, yeah, but it's just a matter of time. They have so many contracts, right? And then just give it a moment. It's just give it a minute. SoFi wasn't profitable. Tesla wasn't profitable for a long time, and it's gonna be off the races. Once it is profitable, that shit's going to $100 a share. JD, I still like the December 2026 $35 Rocket Lab cash put I wrote for $840. I see nothing wrong with that. You're getting Rocket Lab pretty much for under $30, right? Like around $27, some shit like that. That's 20 less than 26.40, 26.60. That's beautiful. Anthony's on Bloomberg right now. I don't see him. I don't see Anthony Note on Bloomberg at this moment. I have it here. I got Bloomberg Intelligence Senior FinTech and Payment Analyst, Diksha Guerra. Let's see here. You know what? You may be on the you may be on the cable channel. I'm actually on the app, so that's probably what's going on. Let's see here. Dude seem to be saying, "Do you do any spreads?" Yeah, sometimes, but I do it on boring stock. Like Nike and such. Stock that like Disney, it doesn't move that much. I like boring stuff, but I honestly I do my bread and butter, like everything that moves every day for me. It's really like cash secure puts, like 99% cash secure puts and cover calls. That's me, and obviously stock, because I always hold like a few hundred that I don't write on in case there's big pops like SoFi today, right? Um, and I'll just go and sell like 100, 200 shares, and then wait for it to come back down, and then get assigned or something. So when I do cash secure puts, so I just, it's the way I trade. There's it makes sense to me. So open, I hadn't sold anything on open until like it went past $3, $4, $4. And then I sold, and I also did cover calls, right? So but most of my shares I sold, and I'm glad I did, because it's down. So now I'm laughing all the way to the bank, man. Double D saying, I sold $20 cash your puts of SoFi the other day for 245, bought them back this morning for 130. Then sold covered calls for 30. Sold $30 covered calls for 180. Yeah, that's how you do it. I bought back the rest of my cash secure puts today. I think I got like 305 for them last week, like last Monday, and over 50% profit. In a week. I think that's pretty awesome, actually. Dude Face is here saying, Savage Familia, let's go. Yes, right. Indeed, sir. Let's go. Let's see here. We have 25 people watching. It looks like we have 30 at a point, but I think some people didn't like my rambling. But we have 24 thumbs up, and I appreciate that. Guys, if you guys could please share the channel, and then like maybe when you're not doing anything, or you're going to leave the house, if you guys have the app and you could play me in the background, like play all or whatever, that kind of helps with the algo. So that'd be cool, so that I can get a little more traction. I was noticing that I actually have picked up traction in the last week or so, which is kind of cool. But it just coincides with the fact that I'm going live now, right? A lot more often than before. Before I go live, like maybe once every other week. Now I'm gonna try to go live a couple of times a week, right after Uncle Bruce. And when he's not on, I'm looking at 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. would be a good time, just because at market opening I have to trade, right? That's when everything moves the fastest, and stinkers trigger. So it's just I have to make my money. I'm not making a dime, not even 5 cents with YouTube, which is another reason why it would be awesome if you guys could, like I said, give a like and then have me playing in the background so that I can pick traction up, and trying to make it to 10,000 members, subs, because then I could, it'd be easier for me to get to the super chat. And in the super chat is what I'm trying to then, really, when we pick up traction, have some fun with that, man, because I'll be able to make like little icons and stuff like that. And I was thinking about, you guys can give me ideas too, right? And I think it'll be fun. All right, so here we go. Archer is down to 1024. Archer Aviation, you guys can do some cash secure puts on Archer. Today is a day for cash secure puts, guys. So if you guys have not noticed that by now, today's a wonderful day for cash secure puts. All right. So any company you guys are looking at, I would be looking to write some cash secure puts on. Have you been on the fence about going into AI. I mean, AI right now is at a pretty low. It's let's see here. It was only this low like a month ago, right? So if you're looking to trade AI, which is a beautiful stock to ride on, don't be afraid to go to October. And then it's 24.74. You want to buy it at you do some 25s. Get paid $280. $280 to buy it at 25. It's 24.75, so you're only 25 cents in the money. So essentially, you're getting paid, $280 to buy it, which would be less than 20. Let's see here. You'd be paying less than $22 per share, man. That is not terrible at all. It's a stock that it's a gift that keeps on giving. It's just it always trades between $20 to $30, and it always pops real quick and then it comes down real quick, and it's a writer's dream. I'd be making money for like 3 years on it, maybe a little more. But I really do like the stock. It's a great company. It's probably going to be over $100 a share. And honestly, I expected AI to go up to where Palantir is faster than Palantir, if that makes any sense. When they both were at its infancy, right? AI was actually taking contracts away from Palantir. The only reason why Palantir is flying the way it is because of Peter Thiel. He's a Republican and he's very close to the White House. And I think he's signing a lot of contracts with the Department of Homeland Security and I guess with the NSA. And it's just, it's a ton of money that's coming their way, which is why it's flying so much, right? And again, I really like C3.ai. It's a great company to own. It's a great stock to trade. Again, I like the stock. If you guys have been looking to get in on it, I think today be a great day. Let's see here. Unity's down 4% today almost. So if you've been looking to, Unity was downgraded. Analysts downgrade and mixed sentiment spark a pullback after a strong July rally. VTIG downgraded Unity to sell last week and set a $25 price target. Look at that. And guess what, guys? I wrote some $30 cover calls and some $35 cover calls. The $35 cover calls got me a little over $8, 35 cover calls to 2027. And the 30s that I wrote for 2027 brought me in $13. They're now at 1160. But you know what? I'm going to wait. And this is why I go out in time and take huge chunks, because it takes time sometimes for these stocks to come down, right? And as they come down, right, they alleviate that pressure that covered call had, and so the time is decaying, and so is the price. So that's one. In which case, I can buy these back. Those $13 covered calls, I could buy back for $6, $5, like in 3-4 months from now. I don't have to wait till 2027. It's so much easier to bring in $6-7 on those covered calls than would have been if I would have sold, say, $35 covered calls for October, which would have brought me like $3 or $4, maybe $5 or $6. But then I would have to wait till October or September. They would still have like 40% life left, right? And so it's just one of those things that I like big chunks of money. And it's just easier for me to trade. I like those contracts. I've been trading like that for a while, and it makes me a lot of money. And again, at the end of the day, we're here to make money. So I'm totally okay with that. Rivian is down. I talked about Rivian already. GME. Now, GME, man. GME is 22 and 67 right now. It got down to 22.59. If you wanted to bring a nice chunk of change, GME $22 covered calls or cash secure puts right now could bring you 335, man. $335. So you're essentially buying, GME for like less than $19 a share. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And it's a $40 stock. I honestly don't know why. I honestly don't know why it's even here, but it doesn't matter. I keep adding shares via cash secure puts, and whenever we have a run to like 30, 35, I always sell covered calls, out the money, and then those come back down so quickly. But at this point, I have $23 cash secure puts and $30 cash secure puts expiring in January. So I got a nice chunk of change for those. I'm just gonna cross my arms, man. Riot, we were talking about. Riot's open is 194 now, down 17% today. Jesus, my covered calls are just dying. I love it. What else are we trading here? You guys are busy trading at this point. I see. I like it. Red Cat we talked about. Are you guys curious about Newsmax? Newsmax is one of those that high risk, high reward, right? Again, this is not financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only, guys. But this is pretty much what I do, how I trade, and it's kind of like it's giving you my perspective in things, right? But if you guys were somebody that's looking at Newsmax and wants to take advantage of the volatility and the premiums, if you want to do cash secure puts on a Newsmax, man, the 1250 right now will bring you in $185. 185, maybe 190, stinker 195. I mean, that's a pretty good percentage back on your investment, man. Almost 20%. Nothing wrong with that. The stock would also have to come down another $1 for you to be in the money. And you would be getting the stock pretty much at a 52-week low. So what is wrong with that? It's one of those that, it's so volatile that if you were to sell covered calls on it, say you own the stock and it's 1338, you want to sell some 15s, it'll give you $130 right now. You could ask for 135. So $135 if it triggers. You can do a buy right. I mean, so many ways to go about this, right? But it's got nice profit. I mean, it's got nice premiums. You make a nice profit. I like Newsmax because it's so close to the White House, and at any point it could rip to like $30, $40 a share, right? I think Newsmax, when it IPO'd, it went to over $200 a share. It was $265. The 52-week high a couple of months ago was $265. So there's some people that really thought this was a $265 stock. You're getting it for like a fraction of that. You're getting it for less than 5% right now. It's crazy. And it'll go back up. I'll tell you that right now. It's that volatile. QUBT. I don't know if you guys are curious about QUBT. There's another one called Cogent Biosciences. SMCI is down. I would like to buy SMCI at the $50 land. So I'd wait for it to pull back to 50. If it pulls back to 50, which I think it will, that'd be a beautiful ride. IONQ is a baby of mine. I started trading it when it was at $13 to $15 land, and it's ran up to 41. If just so you know, it's got a price target of $70 a share. It's 41. I mean, it's a nice stock to own. Very good premiums. You could literally do a cash secure put right now a $40 cash secure put that will bring you in $560. Stock is 41. It still has to come down $1 for you. You do a $40 cash secure put, bring in $560. What is wrong with that, man? You want to go to October? That's it. You want to go to January on the same $40 strike? You bring in $815. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. You're bringing in over 20% of premium. Like, seriously, that's a really great return on investment. Worst case scenario, you're buying at 31.80. Nothing wrong with a great stock, great company. We were talking about SoundHound today. I think it's down almost 5% at this point. And if you were to do some September's, the $10 September's will bring you in $1. So, not a bad ride at all. You want to go to October? Those will bring you in 127, 128. What is wrong with that? Nothing at all. It's another stock that is volatile and it keeps trading on this channel between $9 to like $13, kind of like Riot, right? We talked about that. I like it. It just keeps making money. It flies really quickly and it comes back down quickly. So, it's a rider's heaven. It's a rider's heaven, man. Weeble, we talked about. Weeble is down a lot today, huh? I understand. Let's see here. You know what? Let me write because Weeble is down a lot. It's almost down, let's see, 10% almost. I'm going to do this right now so you guys can see it live. I'm going to go to January, and the stock is $14.19. I'm going to do a $12.50 put, and I'm going to ask for $275. $275. Let's do that. I'm basically getting the stock under $10 that point. Let's see. I'm doing a stink bid. You're more than welcome to join me on this one, guys. Oh, look, it's going down now. So that means that the number of asks is getting lower. The last trade was 260. The highest was 265. I'm waiting at 275. I'm okay with that. It needs to go down a couple of more cents, and then it triggers, and I make $275 on my $12.50 investment. I'm totally okay with that. All right, let's see what we got going here. Somebody said, Cindy B saying, I just bought an AI January 27 $5 call and sold at 25. You bought a January 27 $5 call. What strike? I mean, I'm not a fan of buying calls. You could have just done a cash secure put to 2027. I would like to know more about your thought process on AI. It's just, I want my channel to be one of those channels where you guys make money by investing and not gambling, right? Because at this point, you're at the mercy of the market. We have a downtrending market. We have a market that, yes, it's looking for excuses to go up, but everything else is telling you that we may be on the downside. We don't know what Jerome Powell is going to say tomorrow. I don't think he's going to raise rates, and I think that's going to put downwards pressure on the market. Is anything baked in yet at this point? I don't know. We'll find out. But instead of doing if spending $500 on a January 27, AI call, which I don't even know what strike it is, and then you sold a $25 call. I would have, why didn't you sell a $35 call to 2027? And instead of paying $500, you would have made $500 or more. Let's see. Um, let's go to AI. I like to know your thought process. See, I knew it. You're doing a poor man cover call. I don't like it. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Um, because let's say you write every your on your poor man on your calls, right? On although they're low, it's all about time, right? And then you have only a finite amount of time. So like a month goes by, 2 months go by, 3 months go by. Say you brought in 50 cents, a dollar of premium, right? Um, in 3 months, the dollar of premium would obviously be like, a lot less. And then you bring another dollar of premium or like another 75 cents of premium. But your call now is worth like, instead of $5, it's worth $1, 3.50, right? 4 months have gone by. Let's say there's the downtrending. We're downtrending, and now the stock, instead of 25, it's at 20. So now that call, you can't really write on that call because that call would be worth less, I guess, than where the stock is at the market. I just don't like it. It's just time. Time should be your tool, right? Time should be your weapon, and at that point, it seems counterproductive. Like time is actually against you. Although you're bringing in a few pennies here and there. When it's all said and done, and you take into account fees and all that stuff, you really don't make that much, as opposed to like if you would just buy the stock, or if you would just do cash secure puts until you get put to stock. So if you want to make like money that way, it's just not worth the headache. Because if the stock goes against you, then you have to like really stress out about rolling, right? You have to look at rolling, and then you have to look at when it makes sense for you to like cut your losses. It's just so much more of a headache than what it's worth to me. So I just don't do poor man cover calls. I did them in the past, and it was not worth the hassle. That's just the bottom line. It was just not worth the hassle. Cindy B saying, I bought SMCI at 32.86 and have been writing calls, but have to rope. That's not a bad problem to have, Cindy. SMCI is a wonderful stock to write. I think I bought it in the 26 land myself, and I think I sold some 40s when it ran to like 40 something, and then I rolled my 40s to 45s or 50s, and then it ran to like 50 something, and I rolled my 2026 50s to like $60 in 2027. So, and then every time I was taking premiums. So I think I made like $1,200 in premiums already, or somewhere around there, 800 to $1,200. Don't quote me on that. But I bought at 20 something, and I'm selling at 60. So like that's a win. I'm more than double my money, um, and I'm bringing in premium. Absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. And I like what you're doing. That's how you do it. DH Rula said, I think she did a four-man cover call. Yeah, I know she said that. Cindy saying, I'm usually only writing a month out, so fast decay, but I really see your point. Well, yeah, so it's just, it's so easy to get burnt, right? And yeah, although so technically you have, until 2027, right? But, you take 2 months here, 3 months there, a month here. Sometimes it takes, 2 months for the stock to recover. Next thing you know, you're out 8 to 12 months, gone, right? And that all eats into your premium, right? And so, you paid, say, $500, you made $600 worth of premiums, but then you have to pay fees. So like you really are coming out with like 20-30 cents of premiums, maybe 40 cents of premiums that you get to keep. So you basically did all that work for $40. Does that make sense? And so after averaged everything, you're like, damn, you were stressing for a year and a half, working so hard to roll and to look at different strikes and always watching the market. And it just, the amount of stress, the amount of time that it took for you to study like all these different scenarios for $40 in a year and a half, that just to me makes absolutely no sense. And that's exactly why I just don't do poor man cover calls. Um, like I, if that, like, I'd rather just buy calls if I'm gonna gamble like that. I'd rather just buy calls and buy like 20 calls of like whatever underlying, right? And when the stock is like today, for example, Novo Nordisk is down 20% or more. See, I would buy calls and I'd buy like 10 calls of Novo Nordisk. It's trading at right. Let me just give you a more accurate description. Okay, so Novo Nordisk is down 21.56, 21.5%, right? It's $54. You could go to January 15th, 2027, and then buy a call. You could buy a $60 call. Novo Nordisk is $54 right now. You could buy a $60 call. Instead of buying, the stock where it's at, 100 shares for $5,400, I could buy the access to 500 shares for $4,500, which is less than 5,400, right? And I would leave it alone. And instead of writing against those $60 cover calls, I would wait for it to go back to like $70. And then when it goes back up to $70, these contracts would be worth, let's say, anywhere from $15 to $16, right? So I'd sell them then. So I spent $4,500 buying them at 9. I sell for $15. I make $6,000. That's how I would trade that. You know what I mean? Instead of doing poor man cover calls. So when your portfolio is really small and you're trying to grow it, I see the appeal, right? But it just could go against you so quickly. And it's just some people are just trying to hurry the process and just they're trying to like really like have like all this money and like all this. It takes time, That's why I'm such a big. My ideology is that time in the market is always going to outperform trying to timing the market, right? And although I'm also very against going on margin because you can go and get in trouble very fast. I keep it cash only. Not to say that I don't do and go up in a margin. I do. I would be a hypocrite if I said no. But I do it to close covered calls or cash secure puts sometimes because I just don't have that available cash like on hand. And for whatever reasons, I've moved money around, and I'm just like, I want to buy 20 calls back or 20 cash secure puts back, and I just don't have all the capital. And instead of doing like, buying one and then the next and then the next, it's at a price point where I think it's attractive. So I just go on margin, on my account and say, I'd like $20,000, please. And then I put that margin to, they give it to me and I close all my positions and I get all this money back. And I automatically go and then I close that margin. So then the $20,000 go away. I pay nothing because I closed on that same day, right? But that's how I use margin. And then I have all this cash. I'm sitting on a pile of cash, and for whatever reasons I close that account, or those calls, then I could look at opportunities elsewhere. There's different reasons why I do things, right? So, so that's take your time, right? Don't try to hurry things. It takes a little longer to build a portfolio when it's cash only and you're doing covered calls and cash secure puts.
but it compounds, right? And whenever you have an extra few $100, every paycheck you get, just put money into the account. Put money into the account. Um, now I like everybody knows I like to travel, right? But I don't spend a lot of my own money when I travel. I mean, I have no problem doing so, but why would I if I don't have to? Um, I think someone asked about a credit card yesterday. Somebody asked on the Discord, "What's a good credit card to get?" Because they're looking to pay for taxes with a credit card so that they can take advantage of the promo. And right now, a good promo. Matter of fact, that reminds me. Um, right now, a good promo would be. Let's see. American Express increased American Express Delta offers. So right now you could get up to 110,000 miles, Delta miles, right? You got to look at first, what you're trying to do, right? So this person said that they're trying to get something for paying their taxes, which is great. Again, but are you trying to travel? Like, do you want airlines miles, or are you okay with hotel miles? To me, it's more valuable. Actually, they're both valuable, but I like personally staying at high-end hotels. I love the Waldorf Astoria. I love Conrad's. Um, so when I do take out a new credit card, it's usually on the Hilton portfolio. So I will take out, a premium credit card, because those are the ones that give you so much more money for your more bang for your buck, right? And a ridiculous amount of points. So I would look at, like the Hilton Aspire, or like the Hilton um, Ascend, I think it's called. Um, those give you like 150,000 Hilton Honors points when you spend, I think, $3,000 or $4,000 in 3 months. It's really not that hard to hit a premium when you use a credit card for everything, right? And they also have promos where if you spend that money, also you will get a free night certificate, right? In addition to the points. So you hit that point, you spend $4,000, right, on the account. Now, if you pay taxes, you're going to get charged a fee for paying your taxes. I think it's like 2%. Say you have to pay $10,000 in taxes. Okay, so basically you're going to pay $200 to the company you're going to use. I think it's like 1040.com or something like that. Would be a company that you can use to pay your taxes with a credit card. And so you pay $200 for paying $10,000, but you get a free night certificate, right? And although you have to pay a yearly fee for that credit card, which is, I think it's like one of them is $95, an annual fee. Another one is like $450 or $500 for an annual fee. Say you pay $500. Okay, great. So you really are out $700, right? But remember, you got a free night certificate um, out of it. Okay, it has to make sense. Now you also get another free night certificate um, when you have that credit card. That's one of the perks of having that credit card, the premium credit card. The Hilton Aspire is what I'm talking about. So now you have two free night certificates, right? But remember, you spend $4,000, which means you're going to get 150,000 Hilton Honors points, right? Great. So now, if you, let's say, were to stay at the Waldorf Astoria in Beverly Hills, those nights are worth around $1,000 a night. You guys can Google this. All right, you go to the Waldorf Astoria in Beverly Hills during high season. The free night certificates can be used at any point at any Hilton. Um, I like to go during the high season uh, because my wife absolutely loves the Waldorf Astoria in Monarch Bay, and so anyways, during high season those could go to like for like $1,200, $1,500 a night for those rooms. And also, that credit card would also give you a $250 credit or a $200 credit on the Hilton portfolio every 6 months. So let's say I go like in late June, like June 31st to July 2nd. I have three free night certificates at this point, or two free night certificates, and then I'll get some of those points that I have, and I think it's 90,000 or 95,000 points that can get me a free night at that hotel. So now I have 3 nights, the 2 free night certificates and the points, right? So I can stay at the Waldorf Astoria in Monterey Bay for 3 nights, on average, let's say $1,000 a night. But because it's a redemption, I don't have to pay hotel taxes or fees, and I don't have to pay any type of other amenity fees. It's free. It's a free night certificate. All taxes are included. And because I'm a diamond member, that credit card gives you diamond status. I get a free upgrade. So when I go to the hotel and I say, well, can I please get upgraded to another room at a higher level, they upgrade me, to like a bigger room with, more beds, or like, a pull-out bed or something, and like a nicer, part of the hotel or closer to the pool. That's a win. Instead of paying, $1,000 a night, those rooms are like $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 a night. So now I did 3 nights at a Waldorf Astoria, which it's equivalent to like $4,500, right, for paying taxes. So you're basically getting something out of it. You could do this with an airline. Some airlines will give you 100,000 points. I talked about this, I think, on another of these lives, where there's the Holy Grail is actually going to Japan on All Nippon Airways. All Nippon Airways happens to be a Virgin Atlantic partner. Virgin Atlantic is on the American Express portfolio, right? They're a partner, travel partner with American Express. So say you get a Gold Card, the Gold Card comes with like a $300 or $290 annual fee, but it also gives you credits. I was just talking about the credits with the Hilton card. Well, there's credits that you get with Uber for the Gold Card, which is like a $10 credit every month. So you can go do Uber Eats. If you don't want to go and get a free ride on Uber somewhere, you can do Uber Eats and get a meal. Get a burger and some fries, and one of the restaurants. Go and pick up your Uber Eats order. That's that's $120 you get back in a year, right? And then you can also do other restaurants that they give you, credits for. And then you can do, I think, a $7 credit for Dunkin' Donuts. That's times 12, right? Every month you get $7 back. So that's $70. That's $84 on Dunkin' Donuts, and $240 on restaurants and the Uber Eats, right? So then you unite those. That's like, $310 you're getting back. But you're also getting Resi credits, which is $50 per, I think, every 6 months. So, bi-yearly. There's restaurants, especially in bigger cities, that take, the Gold Card, and there are, and then the Gold Card is American Express, right? American Express bought Resi. It's a line of restaurants, or like an app. And so any of those restaurants that are on Resi, you can pay with your Gold Card. You will be getting up to $50 in credits. If you go to like, a restaurant that, have a meal with your significant other, they charge you $70 for your meals. You pay with your Gold Card, they're going to give you a $50 credit. So you do that 2 times a year. You basically are making money holding that Gold Card. But wait, there's more. If you spend $4,000 in a month, in 3 months, you're going to get 100 to 125,000 points, Gold American Express points, which you can then in turn move to travel partners, right? The Hilton being one of them. Sometimes I do 100,000 Hilton Honors points. I transfer 100 Hilton Honors points, American Express points, to um, to become Hilton Honors points, but because I only do it when there's like promos, and Hilton is a transfer partner 2 to 1, meaning for every one American Express point, I get 2 Hilton Honors points. 100,000 points is actually 200,000 points. But when I also do it when there's promos, I get 40,000 or 40% more whenever I do a redemption, different times of the year. So instead of being 200,000 Hilton Honors points, it's 280,000 Hilton Honors points. So 100,000 American Express points could be 3 nights at a Waldorf Astoria for me. And we already know that the Waldorf Astoria, it's up to $5,000 after taxes and fees that I would save on 3 nights. So that's how valuable the points are to me. Now, I was talking about Japan. All Nippon Airways, you can transfer 120,000 points for 2 people to travel to Japan in first class ANA. That ticket is worth $18,000 or more per person. So you're basically taking a $38,000 flight to Japan first class with you and someone else, round trip, for free for paying taxes, right? So it's just examples. Sorry, I got off track, right? But I was just basically trying to let you guys know how to play these games, right? Just use the system to your advantage. Don't let the system eat you up, because it does. It takes everyone with them. I actually like to use the system to my advantage. So let's see here. I'm usually only writing a month out or two. Cindy said, okay, dude saying when way to make poor man cover calls or leaps work is to ratchet the long call down on pullbacks, especially if the IV is low on the chain. This way you are lowering your strike advantageously. Again, you can absolutely, but it's just so much work, right? That's how I've made it work. I see your point though, Savage. This is a strategy I use primarily just to buy shares and sell calls. More than one way to skin a cat, right? But just the amount of time and effort is just not worth it to me, right? Again, I work full time. I have children. I have a wife that I like to dedicate time to. So to me, it's just time is valuable, right? And so I don't trade full time. I'm not like a day trader. I do trade daily, which is a different thing altogether. But this is why I like to do, covered calls and cash your puts out and take big chunks, out in time instead of doing weeklies. It's just too much of a hassle, too much worry, too much stress, and the less stress for me, the better. But if you can dedicate, 24/7 to just looking at your screens and like looking at the market and then staying on top of it, I think that's great. It's not my thing, right? There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, to me, it's just not worth it. I roll long calls on a 90-day to avoid major decays, says dude. That works for you. It's all good. Charlie saying, gotta take the kids tubing behind the motorboat. Have a great day, everyone. Good. Go, Charlie. I actually have to go out downstairs with the kids myself because they want to do it, jump on their jumper. I bought them a jumper so they can they have fun. And my little one was bothering me yesterday, talking about he wanted it to for me to go in the jumper. I mean, I'm a grown ass man, right? But going to the jumper with them, it's extremely hot too because it's pretty sunny out here. But you know what? And sometimes it's just worth it. Just even if you're old and you pull a muscle, it's just your kids are having fun and they just want to play, right? So probably gonna do that after I get off of the live with you guys. Cindy saying you could have a channel just on that. I love that stuff. Yeah, man. I actually, if you look at my videos, I have a lot of credit card videos, kind of, in the past, and I talk about the Aspire, and I've taken trips. I think I have some videos that I made when I took trips to different places, and I think the Waldorf Astoria Monarch Bay was one of them. And you guys can see it. I mean, it's a beautiful property. I've stayed in Hawaii in Waikiki, at a beautiful hotel, got upgraded to a suite, a family suite, for like almost 2 weeks, during Christmas season. And then I just paid nothing. And then because of the Aspire gives you a, a daily food credit, I ended up having my breakfast comp. So, I haven't paid to stay at a hotel in forever. And even when I go into like, Reno and Tahoe, because I have a player's card, and I'm like a platinum status, I get comped my stays and a lot of meals. And so it's just, man, I'm a pretty blessed person, man. Which is, I don't mind going and spending a little bit of money, um, doing stuff with my kids, because I do save a lot of money when we travel and stuff. And, I think credit cards are a great way to like save and play the system instead of having the system play you. Don't fall into the trap of paying, you know, uh, interest though. That's like, it's very counterproductive towards what you're trying to do, which is travel for free, right? Or stay at hotels for free. Um, Whenever you start paying like monthly installments, the interest rate on those credit cards is very high, sometimes up to like 20% or more. I don't advise you going and paying an APR, because it's just, use it as you would a debit card. That's how I use my credit cards. I use them as debit cards. As soon as I see the balance, I just take care of it. Because I don't want to. I don't want to, pay 20% on like $500 of something, right? Because it's just insane to me. It makes no sense if I'm trying to save money, when I travel. Then like at that point, I'm not saving anything. It washes out. It just makes no sense. But what do we got here? Oh, right, do not get a credit card unless you pay the full amount monthly. I agree. That's how you do it. Anyways, all right, knuckleheads. I'm going to be leaving you guys. A lot of opportunity in the market today. You guys seen a couple of trades that I did. I'm trying to see how you guys are trading as well. We gave you guys some ideas maybe on how I would trade. And see here. Oh, look at that. My order to sell to open one contract of Bull 1250. The put, the 116-2026, has been filled for an average price of $275 per contract. Well, la di da. I love this. I love making money, man. Look at that. And I was the high of the day so far. Lovely. Can I just tell you guys how much I try to be the high of the day when it comes to selling cash secure puts or covered calls? It's just something about being the high of the day, man. Whenever I get the low of the day, I feel like a loser. I don't know. I don't know if you guys are like that. I'm very competitive. So I like to outdo whenever I see people on the Discord saying that they did some specific right at a specific price. Well, I try to like outdo it, and then sometimes they try to outdo me, and I think it's awesome. But it's just I like seeing the high of the day and me being it, right? So yeah, I just made a couple of dollars today, and I think you guys made a couple of dollars. We became richer today. Let's keep getting richer. Hopefully tomorrow I'll probably be on at the same time after Uncle Bruce is on. And we'll keep trading tomorrow. We'll see what this market gives us. Take advantage of the opportunities. Please, knuckleheads, don't be afraid to be wrong either. Sometimes you're going to make a bad call. Don't let that paralyze you. Have an exit strategy. Have a plan. It helps me to write down, like physically, sometimes strikes for puts and cash secure puts and for covered calls, and dates, because I can see it. Sometimes, I get on the computer and it's just, I forget. But if you see a couple of companies are taking it on the chin on a specific day. They're down 10%, like we will today, right? Uh, write down like a strike that you see that there's a lot of IV on, and then there's a lot of volume, right, in open contracts. Those usually are easier to get out because the spread is tighter. Write it down. That helps me, man, and I know it would help you guys. It's kind of old school, but like it works. Um, and have an exit strategy. Let's say, for example, you're like end phase, for example. At this point, I'm okay getting assigned some contracts. Some cash secure puts. But if it goes below a specific price point, I'm thinking about rolling. If not, we'll see what happens. But the stock will tell me what to do. There's nothing wrong with writing that down and having a strategy for like a specific stock or two. It helps me greatly, and I know it will help you people. Anyhow, I'm the Savage of Wall Street, baby. Thank you for tuning in yet again, and I will be seeing you guys tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Hopefully, we'll make a lot more money. I think Jerome Powell is talking tomorrow. So today, you know what I mean? I think tomorrow as well. But tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if the market pops in the morning, just on expectations. But we already know Jerome Powell is not. It's not going to do what Trump wants him to do, right? He's just truly independent, and he wants to keep it as such. And he doesn't want to tank the market. So don't be surprised to see some green tomorrow. Take advantage of that. If we keep sliding, if you couldn't get a cash secure put out today, and you think some stock is going to go down and slide even more, have a strategy for that tomorrow. Is RXRX something you've been looking at? Um, Open Technologies, GME. What if GME goes to 21 tomorrow? Would you Would you do $20 cash secure puts out to like 2027? What if SoFi slides below 20? I mean, this. What will you do? Have a plan. It always helps. Don't just be reactive to the market. Let the stock tell you what to do, but don't let it paralyze you. Have a plan. It always helps. Knuckleheads, I'm going to log off now. So thank you for watching. It's almost 2 hours, and this is my cue. I'm going to go be a dad now. So I made my money for the day. Hopefully you guys make some money, and tomorrow we're going to make some more money. So see you guys then. Thank you for watching. Peace from California, baby.